Didn't go live. All right, what's going on, everybody out there? It's your man Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Look like we're having a little technical difficulties here. Well, listen, super excited to be coming to you tonight on this Saturday night, September the 21st. Listen, we're still in Life Insurance Awareness Month, and so listen, I'm super excited to be able to get on here with you for a few minutes tonight. I have a very special guest that's going to join me here, and this guest is somebody that I'm very, very fond of, that I have great respect and admiration for, that I even get them prison stripes for. So that may give you a hint about who it is that I have that's going to be on with me tonight. But either way, first of all, just again, want to give you a quick announcement that it is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And so what I hope you understand that means this is the month where you are supposed to be taking a look at your policies. This is the month where you're supposed to be going in, looking at your policies and making sure that you have the right amount of life insurance. So that's what we're going to be talking about on tonight. Just by way of an announcement, I love doing what I do. I love helping families understand the value of life insurance. I love educating people about life insurance. I literally feel like that's my drug of choice. And I had the opportunity to meet a good friend of mine today. We hadn't seen one another in a while. And I was super excited to sit down and talk with him. And it's always, always, always good when I talk with people and I see, they're like, man, good God Almighty, what the world? I love being able to see that when people come to understand about life insurance. And that's literally what really prompted me to want to get on this live tonight. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest to you. This person, as I told you before, somebody that I love dearly. I really do. I really admire this individual. We started at the bottom and now we here. And with no further ado, I want to introduce to everybody on the call tonight, the love of my life, Lady Christy Hickman. Lady Hickman, are you on the call?
I am.
Welcome to the call. How you doing tonight there, Charlotte?
Doing well.
Let me hold something first of all. You know how we got to keep it real and keep it true. Let me hold something. All right. So, Lady Hickman, let's talk real quick. What's been going on in your world, in your sphere for the last 7-8 months? What's been going on?
Also, for me, as of November 2023, I became full-time in this industry, helping families, teaching them how to save, grow, and make money, showing them how to properly plan for retirement, as well as for their children's financial future.
Okay. And how has that been for you?
I really feel great about it. It's fulfilling because a lot of the knowledge that I gained since I've been in this business, I'm able to share it with others. And I'm learning that a lot of people don't understand the power of life insurance and what it can do for them while they're living. And so it has been a fulfilling mission for me to educate people on how life insurance can help them while they're living.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about that. When you say life insurance is something that can help, even though I know, but for our viewers and from a woman's perspective, again, this is Life Insurance Awareness Month. Tell me what it is that you feel like if you had to sum up the message, what would your message be regarding life insurance?
My message would be get educated on what it is that you have. What I'm learning is a lot of people have coverage, which is very responsible, no slight on what they have, but you want to know exactly what you have and what it can do for you. And with that being said, a lot of times, because we don't know what we have, we find ourselves when life happened getting disappointed. The coverage that we think we have, it is not as much. Sometimes we tap into the monies that are tied to the growth in the life insurance policy. And we don't realize that that comes from the death benefit based off the type of policy that you have. And so the overall message again is like, learn what you have. I know for me in this industry, I offer a consultation just to educate people on what they have. Nothing more. I don't expect anything of them. I don't ask for business. I just want people to be well aware of what they have.
And that's definitely something that is necessary. Um, and so when you do that, why do you feel like it's necessary for people to understand what they have? And I know these questions may seem a bit elementary, but what I'm finding out is, especially based on the conversation that was had today, a lot of time people just don't know.
Right.
A lot of times we talk from an advanced standpoint about insurance, but I really am learning that I have to dial it back a bit. But to hear you say that, I'm interested to know your take on why you feel it's important for people to know that.
Well, I've had horror stories where loved ones have left husbands, wives, without the proper coverage, and so they're not able to continue life on as they would have if that individual was still here. And so that means homes being lost, a number of things. Your lifestyle where you're able to travel and enjoy life is no longer that. Some people have to go back to work, some people have to pick up another job, or a side hustle to make up for what's missing in the household. And so it's just a sad thing. I'm learning also that people are leaving here uncovered and they have children. And so again, because people don't have the knowledge of the power of life insurance, they don't understand that life insurance is really for legacy. Some people think that, oh, it's just life insurance. Life insurance is death insurance, but life insurance is in the name. It's for life. And so me educating people on how you can actually access the funds in your policy, how you can actually have a tax-free retirement, or how the funds, the death benefit can actually be accessed should life happen. Nobody has to take up a collection plate if you have a stroke, if you have a heart attack. If something major happened to you and you actually happen to survive it, now nobody on your job is having to pass a card around because you actually have access to these benefits while you're living. And a lot of people are not aware of that. A lot of times when you hear people talk about life insurance, they don't want to have that conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation for people. I can talk from a personal standpoint that even with what's called our long-term care products, these products allow you to have things in place in your later days so that your families won't experience kind of what my family is experiencing. My grandmother's 90, she'll be 95 in November. And, we didn't have things in place where someone could come in and take care of her where it wouldn't be on one or two individuals. And so that's our reality now. And I just know if that's my reality, it's a reality for a lot of people. And what it does is it for people that have to bring mom back in the house or dad back in the house, and you have children already. Actually, there's a little study that they did on it's called the sandwich community. And basically, it's a community of people where, just say, if it's you and I, and we had to bring my mom in and care for my mom, and we're still raising children, it puts more stress on our situation because now I'm a caregiver. I'm working a full-time job. You're working a full-time job. I'm sending the children to school. It just alters our way of living. And so we need to be aware of that, because I know when I came into this industry and I learned what I learned about life insurance, I don't want to be a burden on my daughter. She knows what to do. We have things in place where when she gets married and she has children, guess what? I can have somebody come in and take care of me. All they need to do is make sure they come see grandma, come, see me on the holidays. But other than that, hey, go back home. I don't need to live on you and your husband and stop your life. I just think it's unfair. And when we have these tools, we need to be more financially responsible and put things in place so that our children don't have to take care of us in our latter days. Honestly, I plan on enjoying my latter days. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. So I'm praying that God keeps me in my right mind so that, hey, I can live what they say my best life in Christ. So I just think knowledge is power once applied. And a lot of times, we run from education because we always think it's about a sale, and it's not. I just rather people know what's available to them.
Said a lot. Said a lot. Job well done. I see why you're the COO of Generational Wealth Builders. Job well done. And to watch this transformation has been wonderful from my vantage point. But let me unpack one thing with you, because that was something that I trained on today in our agent training there at the Memphis office. And one of the things that I brought up was how sometimes families love the struggle. And you talked about what they call the sandwich community, where now the working adults are now sandwiched between the responsibility of taking care of their children as well as taking care of an aging parent. And again, that's a very real thing. But let me ask you this question. Why is it that you think that people feel the need to have to bring that upon themselves? Why do they put themselves in the sandwich? What do you think about that?
Well, I know it is an honorable thing to be able to give back, because again, our parents sacrificed so much for us. But I'm not so sure why people feel the need to have the struggle, because even if that's the case, you still want to be able to enjoy your children in all the activities that, they're in. And it's kind of hard when you have a parent that you have to take care of at home. Again, just having those things in place would alleviate you from some of that stress, knowing that someone is taking care of mom and dad, even if they had to be in the house. It's not as stressful on you. And I just know those that are aware and are able to do these things, they don't have that stress that most of us have. They don't have the family falling out that some of us have, because that's some things that tear families apart, because, hey, I'm responsible for mom, I'm responsible for dad, and everybody else is living their life like she's not here, but she made sacrifices for all of us. And so I can't really give the answer as to why people feel the need to bring that on themselves. I'm just going to say lack of knowledge. Again, lack of knowledge and not having the proper things in place, I would say.
Right. As I was thinking about that, and again, of course, there's never a quote unquote a right answer. It's just really something, because I think it's an individual by individual assessment, right? I
Right.
think part of the reason is they're not prepared, right? Because again, to your point, we don't know about the products and services. But then I think there's also the peer pressure that we get from family, right?
Agreed.
With the notion of, oh, okay, if you put pops in a home, that means you just gave up on pops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes people take on, in my opinion, right? They take on a burden that they really don't have to. Now, again, if you don't have the bread, that's one thing, right? That's one thing. We understand that. If you don't have the money, if you can't afford it, again, that's one thing. We see how you get into that. And then to your point, there always seems to be one family member that gets stuck, caring for everyone else. But I think at the same time, I think people are more concerned about the image of, well, I'm taking care of Pawpaw or Big Mama or mom and dad, because they want to be seen as the hero. But they don't realize how difficult it is, because I think, and we've been in that situation, even with my mom. We've seen how when people have, especially when they have a declining cognitive disease or whatever, it can bring pressure, right? And I just thank God that we were in a position to have things work out where, my mom was able to get the type of care that she needed, and us still be able to support her outside of the home. But again, life insurance, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, and this is why in Life Insurance Awareness Month, we're really animated about getting this information out. But I really feel like people don't know that it's available. And I think we've got to break the stigma. If we're going to do well as agents, we're going to have to break the stigma that people have regarding life insurance. So now that you've been in the industry for a little while, what are some of the um, how can I word this? What are some of the objections that you're seeing when you sit down with people about life insurance? This ought to be fun.
Life insurance costs too much. I'm not leaving anything for people to fight over. I don't need that much life insurance. I mean, I get a lot of things. But yeah, I get a lot of things with life insurance. Some people, they don't want to leave their spouse anything. Like, I don't understand it.
Right.
And that's really men and women. And so that's a fun yeah, that's a tough one. No, I don't get that part. You know, we're good enough for life, but not after death, not after life. So I don't know. I just the mindset of people it causes them to say things that, like, I didn't think in this industry I would hear, but I do. I hear a lot of things. But I think too, a lack of knowledge is the biggest hindrance when it comes to life insurance. And not only just lack of knowledge on the client's part, lack of knowledge on the agent's behalf. So a lot of people are in this industry and they don't study their craft. And so, again, like I said, I've only been full-time for a short length of time. It has been very rewarding because I'm able to open the eyes of clients just by doing a policy review. They're discovering that, you know, hey, I got this $200,000 home and I only have $20,000 in life insurance. And so it doesn't look good when, you know, you're married with kids and you're a man and you only have about $20,000 in life insurance and the home's income is about $100,000. Now, if life happens and you go or your wife go, now they don't realize how much that alters your life. You only had $20,000 worth of life insurance. Just say if it was the wife. I'm going to speak from the wife's perspective.
Okay.
Wife passed away.
Yep.
And we have $100,000 income overall annually. And I only have $20,000. There's only $20,000. Now that the wife is gone, you lose someone to send the children to school, take care of the children. You lose that person that does all the running for the family, going to the store. Like, you lose all of that, you know, and the wife, whether she works or not, is just as valuable as the husband. And so with that being said, just saying this $100,000, now my family is going to have to resort to letting our house go because that's a $50,000 decrease in our overall annual income. And so we don't look at it like that. You know, we literally live for the moment and we don't think about, you know, hey, I have these young children. Life is not promised to anybody. You know, so our priorities are kind of off. I think that's part of it. And even like I said, from a financial perspective, I can't tell you how many people have told me, oh, I have a financial planner. But you don't have enough coverage.
Exactly.
And so you need to be mindful of that. You know, if I have a financial planner, I need to make sure that I'm completely covered. How often are you guys reviewing your retirement plan? How often are you all reviewing the coverage? And now you on baby number 4. You hired this person when you first got married, you didn't have any children. So even right there, you don't have enough coverage for anybody. If you get what I'm saying, like, we don't plan properly. We just go with the flow thinking that things are going to fall in place and they don't. And so it's a sad situation, but it's very true. I had a gentleman, a business owner. He told me, he said, I was just wanting to show him what we do to help families, and he was newly married, and they had, a baby on the way, and he discovered that he had a policy from years ago when he was a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a wife, a kid, and you all have a home, and this $10,000 or $15,000 is just not, it's not enough.
Right.
Not enough, you know what I mean? And so, even with my conversation with him at the time, he wasn't even looking to give me the time of day. But after meeting with him and just breaking down, what it is that he had versus what he needed, we were able to put a retirement plan in place for him as well as life insurance. And so he thanked me for even pushing him. I could have easily hung up the phone after he told me he had coverage, but I pressed for a reason. A lot of times we, even as agents, back off because people tell us, oh, I have life insurance. Well, as a good life insurance professional, I think that everyone should at least offer a free policy review.
Mm-hmm.
Just for educating people, because again, as I stated earlier, a lot of agents are not educated on what they have. They're just writing business and thinking about a dollar. Even in my business, I train all of my business partners that, hey, once you sit down with the family and you get that family protected, you are now a part of their family. You're not just somebody that did a transaction with them. Why? Because when life happens, they need to at least be able to call you. And so another part of this whole thing with life insurance, a lot of times we have life insurance and our family don't even know. And so there's millions of dollars still sitting for someone to claim because we don't share with our families that, hey, I have this policy. If something happened to me, it's up under the mattress or it's in my safe. You know what I mean? So even with that, like my daughter knows if something happens to me, she knows what to do. She knows that how I want to be buried. And she has a whole she knows. So it's something that we need to be comfortable talking about. We don't want to talk about death, but guess what? We're all gonna die someday.
Big facts.
Right? So I turn it back over to you. I think I said quite a bit.
No, I'm just surprised you talking because normally you like, I ain't gonna say nothing. Look at here, man. You done talked up my whole show, man. Get out about it. No, okay.
It's a passion. And once I learned how much I didn't know.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, I want everybody to know. Exactly. But it's crazy because the people that you want to know don't want to know because they think you want to sell. No, I just want to educate you. I just want to make sure that even my family, I want to make sure that you all have what's right for you. I want to make sure that when you do retire, that you don't run out of money. It's not always about a sale. I just like to educate people. And so I get a passion from that.
Exactly right. And so that brings us to our next point. We'll just segue into this where we talk about the dime model. And so this is the essence of why we're having this call on tonight. Because a lot of people, as my wife has said, that they'll think I got $25,000 or $50,000, and they'll say it with their chest, like, "Oh yeah, I done said something. I got $50,000 for life insurance." But in the grand scheme of things, that's not any money. No. That's not going to do anything for your family. And a lot of times when we sit down with people and we write it down, this is where people are actually able to become enlightened. And this is why where our customers, I know I see a lot of my customers are thankful because they're like, man, I never even considered that, right? So let's talk a little bit about the dime model. And when it comes to the dime, I always sit down, and if we have a husband and or a spouse, as my wife said earlier, I mirror the insurance. I don't care who the breadwinner is. I make sure that the husband or the wife have just as much insurance as the husband, if not more. So ladies, there y'all go. Y'all don't won again. So go ahead and say power to the people. Y'all need to have more life insurance. So power to the cause. Ooh, right now, the D stands for debt. And when you go through this, talk us through this dying model.
So the D stand for debt. A lot of times people are not aware that your creditors can come after what life insurance you do have.
Okay.
And so a lot of times in situations, people wait months before it takes months before people get their family's life insurance. And a lot of it is because they had debt that their creditors came after. And so it was held up in probate. And so that's another thing that I educate people on. So your debt can be consumed in life insurance if your affairs are not in order, if you don't have enough coverage. And so that's debt is everything minus your mortgage. And the I is for income replacement. Again, talking to anybody that has children, anybody depending on your income, you definitely want to be able to leave a certain amount of years of your income for them to live off of so that they can get on their feet after your death. You want them to be able to continue on without having to lose everything. And so we kind of start at 5 years of your annual income. We take your annual income times the number of years that you want to leave behind for that individual. And we let our clients make that decision. Fellas, please don't say 1 year or 2 year, because it may get a chair or something thrown at you. I kind of start my clients off at like 5 years, 5 years of your annual income to make sure that life can still continue on after your death. Mortgage. Again, I spoke to this because I do know a horror story of a family where the family bought a house. They moved in on the weekend. They had were making arrangements to purchase furniture, the following week. And before the weekend was out, the father passed away. And so that caused the family to have to move back in, the wife to have to move back in with her mom. They lost everything. They had to change. The children had to change schools. And so, again, what I'm talking about is like real life things that are happening. And so you want to make sure that if your family are already in their forever home and life happens to you, you want to make sure that you have enough coverage to make sure that they're able to stay there and not have to sell the home. I also had another lady who husband did not believe in life insurance. And so, again, even now they're in the process of selling the home because they didn't have enough coverage so that life could continue on after him leaving. So it's really important also for those that are renters. You may say, I don't have a mortgage. Well, if you don't have a mortgage and you have children, or if you have a spouse, you definitely don't want them to still lose anything. So we asked, hey, about how much of a home do you want your children to have? A lot of times we run into this, and the kids are at Aunt Joanne's, Uncle Mark's, because there's nowhere for them to go, and it's hard for them to be piled up on another family member. And so you want them to be able to have a forever home to go to. So we asked that question about how much of a house would you like to leave behind for your family? And education/retirement. We know a lot of a lot of clients, they have children. This is put in place just in case you want to have an educational fund for your children, or if your children want to have a business afterwards. We know that not everybody want to go to school, but some may want to take up a trade, or some may want to just go out and take a chance and bet on themselves and become an entrepreneur. And so we put that in place to say, hey, how much money would you like to leave behind for Johnny in the event that you leave and he wants to do something for education, or, starting a business. And for the clients that do not have children, we ask, about how much money would you like to have at retirement? Again, that's another piece. That's probably another show to educate people on how retirement is not an age, it's a dollar value. And so we educate people on that as well, because it's very important. Not only that, we also educate on retirement, because a lot of times people don't realize that some of the retirement plans that they have in place will not sustain them past retirement. And so that's the R in retirement. And then, we take these numbers, it gives you what your insurable need is. And that way you have a visual as to what life needs to look like should you transition. And so it's a realistic number for you because you know what you need.
Exactly right. And I think the beautiful thing about that is that the key word is that you know what you need.
Right.
So let's just go through and do an example. So when we're talking about debt, we're including everything, excluding the mortgage, right? We exclude the mortgage. So that's including student loans, credit cards, any kind of payday loans, any kind of bills where a creditor will take you to probate and say, this person owe me some money. That's what we take into consideration. So this is cars if you want to keep vehicles, right? Because as my wife was saying, if you have a two-income home and you have, everybody's making 50, both people are making $50,000 a year, then more likely than not, your bills are going to be about 80% of your income. Just being honest, right? Most folk are living just like that. So that means you have cars based on both incomes. You have your home based on both incomes, right? And so with that being said, you want to make sure that, God forbid, if anything happened, the repo man, South Beach Tow, is not pulling up to your house in the middle of the night. So you take all that into consideration. So let's say $50,000 is what you have in debt, right? Again, this is everything excluding the mortgage. Income replacement. Again, if you make $50,000 a year, again, we recommend anywhere from 5, 7, 10, 15. You can leave as many years as you want to. And fellas, y'all heard what my wife said. Please, please, please. I don't care who you're sitting with. When they ask you, how many years of your income do you want to leave behind for your wife? Please, please, please now. Please, 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 please. Do not say 1 or 2. Bro, don't do it, bro. Don't do it to yourself now. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to you. Because I promise you, you're going to get a look upside your head. My wife said they might go WWE and throw a chair at you, right? Because you're literally saying that's how much you value your family.
Right.
You value your family where you're leaving behind 2 years of your income? No, bro. Bare minimum, it should be 10. Real talk. But we understand budget is king. Now, I'm just talking to the brothers. Now, again, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm an alpha man. Y'all know I'm team bro all day long. But real talk, we got to do what's right. I can tell y'all, I can say this from moral authority, because if anything happened to me, I guarantee you, Jody ain't gonna be able to come and and be like, hey, yeah, you need something. Nah, bro, she taken care of. You get what I'm talking about? My wife and Bug are gonna be well taken care of, right? So my point being, again, bro, we gotta don't say that. So bare minimum you want to say for your income is you want to say bare minimum 5 years, bare minimum, right? So let's just say if you're making $50,000 a year, that's $250,000, right? Again, your home. If you have a home, how much is it to pay off your mortgage today, right? If it's 300,000, sweet, it's just 300,000. But Rod, we don't have a home. We're renting. Okay, how much home do you want your family to be able to have, right? Just because you won't be able to be in the home, that's still your family. But it's the death do us part, bro. I promise. If you go there with that mindset, you will not rest in peace, man. How in the world are you gonna have your children somewhere calling another man Mr. Such and Such, all because you wouldn't do what you want to do? Now, Jody waiting in the wings now. Don't trip. Don't think Jody ain't around there watching and waiting. Somebody wait. Oh, I can't believe he did that. Now your legacy all messed up. So again, make sure that you can leave behind where your family can be straight. And then last but not least, the education. Now again, with this one, I'm a little impartial with this, but again, You still always want to leave behind money. If you're going to leave behind money for college, think about $150,000 a year for a 4-year degree. Again, that's on the high side, but again, that way you don't have to worry about anything. So for however many children you have, just think $150,000. So let's just say you have 2 children, that's $300,000 worth of insurance. So now what we see, your insurable needs are just under $1 million. And so to the point when somebody like, yeah, I got $50,000 worth of insurance, or even worse, I got insurance on my job, fam, you still are severely underinsured. And again, there's a statistic out there that say 42% of Americans identify that they are underinsured when it comes to insurance. This right here, if you don't have this, you are literally passing on poverty to your family, to your friends, to your family, to your loved ones. That's your legacy. Your legacy is that I don't care about my family enough to make sure they're protected in my absence. I don't care enough about my family to make sure they go on to the promised land. Rod, you can't say that. I absolutely can, because that's what's happening. You're not here, and now your family is struggling. Like I said, I pray you can't rest in peace if you think $50,000 is enough life insurance. I pray the Lord don't let you rest in peace at all. I pray don't. I pray you see every bill collected. I pray you see every bill that comes. I pray he put that on loop. I pray he allowed you to see the dread that your family is going through. Right? It's a little rough. It is what it is. And so then guess what? Because the husband needs $1 million, the spouse needs that $900,000 as well. And folks, that's how you determine how much life insurance you need. Like my wife said, man, we're not out here trying to fleece y'all. Again, we're not trying to fleece you. We're trying to make sure you're straight. And I'll throw this point out there. But what you're paying a lot of times for $50,000 worth of insurance, or even $100,000 worth of insurance, we can triple that. We can triple that because of the carriers that we write with. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and then I'm going to give it to Lady Hickman for her to close us out. But people like, well, I got insurance on the job. Well, Lady Hickman, I'll let you take that. What do you think about when people tell you they have insurance on the job? You look like you wanted that one, so I'm going to let you have it.
I really did not. But insurance on the job is not permanent insurance. If you take the insurance after you leave your job, it's going to be double or triple, because when the employer gets an insurance policy on you, it is at a group rating. And so it's very, very inexpensive. And so it would behoove you to actually get additional insurance in with your employer's insurance to make sure that you have adequate coverage. So also the insurance on the job does not come with living benefits. It may have some benefits, but it will not be living benefits. Simplify living benefits. Those are benefits that should you have or get diagnosed with cancer, have a stroke, a heart attack, and again survive that that situation, you can get up to 80% of your death benefit while you're living. And not only that, you don't have to pay it back. And so our carriers offer that. Also, with just seeing that number, I know it seemed like a large number. We're able to put multiple policies in place within your budget that will allow you to have adequate coverage and access to living benefits. Also, for those that may be entrepreneurs, you definitely want to make sure that you have life insurance and a proper retirement plan. We can show you how to have a tax-free retirement through life insurance. And so I think it's more just the educational piece. Once you're educated on it, you're able to make a sound decision for you and for your family.
Exactly right. And let me just share this one last time, because I think this is very, very critical information. So if you look over here to the right, you see where we have the word term, temporary, permanent, temporary, temporary. when you think about the amount of insurance that you need, right? Debt, for the most part, is temporary. Why do we say that? You can pay off your debt, right? That's temporary. Income replacement, that for the most part is your legacy, right? You will need income for the rest of your life.
Right.
So when we're looking at our policies, you always want to make sure that your income replacement is a permanent policy, meaning if there's anything you want to make sure that you have, you want to make sure that you're able to protect your income for the rest of your life. Mortgage payoff, you can pay off your mortgage, right? A good bit of Americans actually live to the point where they pay off their mortgage, right? And then the education retirement, your children grow up and you don't have to pay for their education. Now, can you leave behind money for your grandchildren, whatever? Absolutely, right? But again, when we sit down with the family, this is what we're focusing on primarily, right? That individual unit family. Now, again, for grandparents, it's a little bit different. But again, overall, this is what it is. And so if you don't have a temporary policy that allows you to get a whole lot of money for a relatively low premium to make sure that you can get closer to this $1 million, that's part of the reason why you're underinsured, right? Because a lot of these companies, with what's his name from Rake Farm. I'm gonna say it like that, right? What's his name? Fake from Rake Farms.
Okay. Yeah.
He got y'all feeling like, oh yeah, no, I got you. But I'm telling you, they don't. You're completely underinsured and you're overpaying. I guarantee you. Listen, folks. I can tell y'all the tricks that they do out there because we sit with enough families to know what it is that they're doing. And what I can tell you that a lot of them are doing are, in order to meet your budget, they'll decrease the policy. What do I mean by that? When it comes to getting a term policy, I was talking with a young lady from Savannah when we went to Savannah. And she was like, well, I got a $500,000 policy. Young lady, I got a $500,000 policy. Okay, sweet. Who is it through? Where's from Fake with Rake Farms? And I was like, okay. How much is it? Well, I'm paying $69 a month. She had it 5 years. Understood. The next question, when does it expire? She's like, what do you mean? Well, there's a point where you'll see that after so many years, the cost is going to go up. So she was like, well, it'll expire in 2029. That's when I'll have had the policy 10 years. I'm like, so what do you think they're going to do? She said, well, I don't know. I said, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to pay that increased rate every single month, it's going to go up every year, or they're going to come back to you and say, hey, your policy is expiring. Let us go ahead on and set you up and get you another 10-year policy. And because he's fake from Rake Farms, people are like, oh, yeah, he's doing what's in my best interest, but he's really not. And so what I showed this young lady was I can get you a 30-year term or a 35-year term a bit more than what you're paying right now. And that's the difference, folks. The difference is being able to deal with people that want to make sure that you get taken care of and are not trying to hit a quota. And that's one of the things I love about our business model. We don't have to hit a quota. And again, the reason why I can say with great assurance that our prices are much better is because we're wholesalers. So you deal directly with the broker. Whereas in some of the other companies, the ones that think they tell you you're in good with them, they are the middleman. So they charge you additional money per month to get that policy. So they're charging you more money for less insurance because of them. So all that being said, Lady Hickman, I'll give you the final words for tonight. What you got?
Okay. So the question was asked, I saw here on the ticker, what happens once you retire with life insurance from the job? So basically, that life insurance does not go with you. And that means that now you're uninsured, or even if you wish to take that with you, again, like I said, you're going to pay triple the price to keep that insurance. But just know that it's not a permanent policy. The last few things that I want to touch on, a lot of times we don't look to give back after death. And what do I mean by that? You can be a blessing to your ministry with life insurance. Why do you see schools and different things added to a lot of ministries? Because people chose to leave monies to their churches so that, Christian academies can be put in place for those that come after them. The other thing I know, October is Pastor Appreciation Month. A lot of times, and I'm a first lady, so I've seen this firsthand where, the pastor may pass away and the first lady kind of get pushed to the side. And if you just kind of break that down and process that, they don't have things in place for the first lady after pastor passes to replace whatever they were paying him for preaching on Sunday, if they pay him. And so with that being said, again, that's another source of income after these people give their lives to ministry that is lost. So those are just some things, even for leaders, pastors, they should be able to have a retirement plan. Some people think that, I have to preach until I die because I don't have any other means of income that will sustain me so that I can comfortably sit down and retire. It shouldn't be so. And so with that being said, again, Pastors Appreciation Month is coming up. This is a conversation that you may want to have with your board. Why does my pastor have a retirement plan in place? With that being said, this is a way that you can sow into him for when he do want to retire. Again, sometimes pastors, they are they're not superhumans. They get sick. Sometimes ailments cause them to have to sit down. And so there's nothing in place to make sure that they can recover the right way without having to worry about, man, I don't have income coming in. And so this is just a message to people that are in leadership. If you don't have a retirement plan for your pastor, that is definitely a conversation that you need to have with your board, because I do believe that, they give of themselves, they time away from their families, given to the ministry. They definitely need to be compensated the right way and make sure that, hey, if I want to retire in ministry, I can. And again, we're giving back to ministry. We shouldn't have to sell chicken dinners or sell pies to build anything, whether it be a church or a life center or a park or whatever it is that your church wants to do. There are policies in place that will allow you to have grants to serve the community. And so these are just things that, instead of doing fundraisers, you can do it by way of life insurance.
That's right.
So just a little educational piece. This has been a good conversation. It's been a while since I've been online because I do not like being up front. But I am passionate about educating people on what's available to them. We are located here in Covington, Tennessee at 115 South Mumford Street. And I am here every day, as well as 9155 Crestwind Hills Drive in Memphis, Tennessee. And so if you all would love to schedule an appointment with me, again, I don't charge anything for my services. I just want you to be well aware of what it is that you have in place. And definitely, if you're looking to do something better to have your children a good financial future, you definitely want to sit with me and see what that looks like, what's available.
All right, that's fine. I definitely appreciate you sharing that on today. Again, great point. October is Clergy Appreciation Month. And, everybody finna start celebrating, talking about how much they love their pastor. And they finna start inviting everybody out to these, pastor appreciation dinners where they got baked chicken with green beans and mashed potatoes and stuff like this. And they're going to try to raise an offering and all this, that, and the other. And I understand all that. I don't speak out against that. But my wife brought up a very valuable point. Do you love them enough to make sure that they have a life insurance policy through the church that the church pays for? That's the key thing. I'll share this free game. Redeeming the Time Gospel Ministry, the church that we founded. Now, we don't take a salary from the church. We don't take anything. We don't have love days, appreciations, none of that, right? That's our choice. My wife and I made that decision. That's our choice, you know. What I'll say is this. However, Redeeming does have 2 policies on me and 2 policies on my wife. Why? Because we are the founders. And if something should happen where, God forbid, I get sick, the church will have the living benefit to make sure that they can help me be taken care of. Something happened to my wife, the exact same thing. That's the minimum the church can do. Additionally, there's a policy on me that if I pass one of the policies, the church is the beneficiary. The other policy, my wife is the beneficiary. Why is that? Because she is the co-founder. She helped found the church. It was out of our home that money was taken. It was out of our life that we poured out and things of that nature. And as the Bible says, if they're doing good things, it's only right for them to receive. So again, that's a simple setup that a church can do. Very simple. See, we try to go and do all this stuff and we buy them suits and everything else like this, that, and the third. And again, that's all fine, well, and good. But do they have a policy that if they get sick, something they'll be taken care of? Or if they get sick, are they going to be like, oh, sorry about old pastor such and such, and we praying for them, but we got to get somebody else in here to preach? Shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. And this is why we want to make sure that we're educating people on what can be done and what should be done because it's right and it's good. All right. All right. Last announcement that we have. And this announcement, I am super duper elated to share. On next Saturday, we're going to be in Union City, Tennessee, with our very own Dr. Ozell Frazier Jr. Him and his lovely wife, Victoria, are hosting a Reach and Teach Financial Enrichment Conference there at their office, GWB United headquarters. They're at 206 East Reelfoot Avenue, Suite 32 in Union City, Tennessee. And we're going to be there September the 28th at 11 a.m. We are super excited about going down there and helping Brother Ozell and Lady Vicky educate that Union City community down there and those surrounding areas. We're super excited about being able to go down there. Bro Ozell is a phenomenal and stand-up dude. And he and his lovely wife have bought into the vision and the ministry of building financial wealth. And we were together today. And when I just think about Bro Zell and all that he's done to be in the position that he's in right now, I get a little emotional. I can't tell you how proud of him I am for really, really wanting to change the financial trajectory for his life. So there will be, as we said, in Union City on next Saturday at 11 a.m. He's asked us to come and be the guest speaker. So we love to see you. Maybe you're like, hey, man, I got some questions. I don't want to put them online. We'll be there in Union City. So we'll share this on our pages as well. But again, 206 East Reelfoot Avenue, Suite 32, there in Union City, Tennessee. So we're super excited about that. Super excited about all the growth that we're experiencing here with Generational Wealth Builder. As I look at our board, October 19th, we'll be back in Savannah. Actually, we'll be down there on the 18th and the 19th. Again, more to come about that. And then on October 26th, we'll be in Atlanta because we have something coming on in Atlanta. So again, we have all going all over the place because people are hurting right now. People need help. People are looking for relief. And so we're super excited to be able to have the products and services that people need to help them begin to get out of poverty so that they can start saving, growing, and making money. Well, look, it's my time tonight. Uh, y'all know I didn't do my normal line. I'm finna get out of here because the warden is right here with me. So, and she did most of the talking. So I just want y'all to understand that. But look, it's been our pleasure tonight to be here with you on tonight. I'm super proud to have Lady Hickman on this call. And again, as you heard her say, she is doing this full time. So she's between our Memphis office and our Covington office. So no matter where you are, she can help you out. We also have some agents in Memphis, Lady Eleanor Glover, who's always a wonderful supporter, been with us for a long time. She can definitely help you out. Insurance Matters, generational wealth building there in Memphis, Tennessee. So again, we're just super excited about everyone that's here, that's working with us. Again, all around the country, we have agents. So the Lord has been kind to us. And I'll leave you with this, as I always say, remember that knowledge is not power until it's applied. You can have an 18-wheeler truck that's full of gas, ready to go. You can rev that engine all you want to, but not until you apply the clutch and put it in gear will it go forward. And so on tonight, I hope you will take what you heard, apply it, put it in gear. If you want to know how to get in touch with us, it's very easy. You can, whatever platform you saw this video on, you can text us there, or you can go to our website, Generational Wealth Building with rodhickman.com. Very easy, and we'll set up an appointment and get you on the right track. All right, from me and my lovely bride, the COO of Generational Wealth Building, Lady Christy Hickman, we all bid you a good night and God bless until next time. All right.